Good morning. How y'all doing? Um, Story time. I have a story. I've been holding on to this. Probably it's been over a year. It's been over a year. Yeah, it's been over a year. So it was close to Christmas. I met this man and his son in Vestavia. Um, the son lives in New Jersey, and the father lives in Vestavia. So in conversation, the man was talking about how he retired from working in healthcare, you know. So um, I'm a talker. So I asked him, I said, well, which hospital did you retire from? And he said, I didn't retire from a hospital. I said, oh, okay. He said, he was over a company that their direct competition was Humana. I said, "Oh, all righty then." So I saw a picture of him when he was younger, not knowing that it was him because he was heavier. And to me, he didn't really resemble himself, even though he looked good. He was this man is probably, I, even though he looks very good. I think he's probably in his 80s. And so I asked him, I said, is this you? And he said, yes, that's me and my baby. And in the photo was him and a dog. He said, that was in Florida. I said, oh, I said, so are you from Florida? He says, no. And if I'm not mistaken, he said that he was from North Carolina. So my response to that was, so what brings you to Alabama? And he said, I'm not really sure what brought me to Alabama. And I asked, well, is your wife a Southern Belle? And that's how you ended up in Alabama? And he said, no. He said, well, huh. And that was the response. He said, well, huh. it's rather strange, or he said it's rather strange, or he said it's rather odd what brought me to Alabama. And I said, oh, okay. He said, well, I started out in Louisiana as a young man, and I don't know if he went to school there. I think maybe he went to school there, maybe Tulane or somewhere like that. And I don't know if he worked in the hospital or college, because sometimes they're one of the same type situations where they get their training. But anyway, I'm not even sure if it was Tulane. For some reason, that sticks in my mind because, like I said, this story is so about a year old. The conversation was, and I should have gotten it out then because I can't remember all the details. But I remember the story. You'll find out why. So he said I started out there, and he said also I worked in Mississippi. He said I worked in Florida. I want to say he said Georgia as well as Tennessee. For whatever reason, that's what my memory is saying, that he included those two states as well. but he never visited Alabama or talked about Alabama again. He said, I started out working with people with venereal diseases. And I was like, oh, I don't know if y'all picked up what I was saying. He never did say why it was that he came to Alabama. For whatever reason, in my mind, it struck me that this man probably was involved with the Tuskegee experiment. And that's what brought him to Alabama. And then at that moment, I was like, this nice man that I'm having a conversation with, who I perceived as being nice, I'm like, who the hell am I really talking to? Because when you think about it, none of us never know who we have conversations with. It's people can do some heinous stuff. It seems like some of the most kind people you ever come across. Which goes back to when I was talking about a situation that happened the weekend of the Alabama State and Jackson State game. And how you have to be, I understand that everybody would love for there to be this perfect world, and that it shouldn't matter. Ethnicities shouldn't matter. Everybody should just love everyone. I agree with that. But the truth is, you don't never know who you're dealing with. It can seem like one thing on the surface, and then something else is really going on. But what I do realize is, because I have watched and heard some of these stories about people who work in nursing homes and some of the people that they have come across, and how people will confess some of the heinous things that they've done, being racist. And then these folks that are working with them really never knew until that person divulged what it was that they had done. And I don't know if his own family knew what it was that he did. Maybe they do know. I don't know for a fact that he did, but y'all let me know what y'all think. Because it just really, him telling me the story and being kind of aloof. Him talking, being very talkative, but being very hesitant to say, and never did say, what brought him to Alabama. Makes me question. Because I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, Tuskegee experiment didn't end until the 70s. So it's very possible that he was part of that. So y'all tell me what y'all think. Love y'all. Give God glory in everything that you do, in Him and in His Word. Bye.